Hi everyone. So in this video, I want to highlight entering transactions and provide some examples of those. We have the IS log form here in front of us, and my starting funds are entered here. If you saw the piece about the spending plan, you saw that we also had budget categories entered here. These labels are important. I want to stay consistent with those. I can change them from month to month as I get a better idea of what categories are most useful. But throughout this month, it's a good idea to keep these the same. So those are the categories I'm working with that will become the labels in this column of the sheet. So I'm just going to give you a few examples of what it looks like to start tracking. You're going to include the date. So I'm going to start at the beginning of the month, so I have everything recorded for the entire month. I'm just going to write whatever the particular category was. In my structure, this item would fit into miscellaneous. I used debit as the mode, so that would be what I would enter as the transaction type. Because it was debit, it came out of my checking account as an expense. Just had a couple of notebooks, so I'm going to enter that there. And you can see that the expenses are automatically coded red, deposits are automatically coded in the green. And if you scroll along the way, you'll see it doesn't affect the amount that I have in my other money sources. It does affect the total funds that I have available. So these calculate as you go along. We're just going to be entering one transaction per row. So you can kind of see a little bit more what this would look like. Let's say I went out to grab coffee, and I might be coding that as food. I might be coding it in a variety of different ways. In my particular system, this is a social, not considering it kind of the fundamental area of groceries. I used cash and spent, that would be really expensive coffee. Let's say we spent $3 there. So again, you can kind of see how these things are going. One thing to keep in mind is if, for example, I decide to get cash and I want to not consider that one of my categories. I'm not really spending the money, I'm just moving it. So I'm going to label that transfer. I used my debit card to get some cash from an ATM. And let's say I pulled $40 out of an ATM. You can see that increases the cash that I have available. Now, what I want to do is on the very same line, make sure that I include that same expense from debit. So again, this is happening on the same row. It just moved from one source of my money to another. And because of that, if we were to look here, you can see that there's an in and out, no actual change in the total funds that I have available. That kind of transfer where you put the same number on two parts of the same row is also helpful when you pay a credit card bill where money may be coming out of checking in order to pay the credit card, that kind of thing there. Really what's important here is that you have every single transaction accounted for, some reference that will trigger your own memory about what you spend. The budget category that is consistent with your budget plan, transaction type, so that you get familiar with what kind of cash, credit, debit you use more often. Sometimes that's meaningful as people think about ways to limit funding or limit expenses, I should say. And then you can have a clear record of how much is in every source. This is very convenient because you can cross-reference that with your electronic balance, for example, at your banking website. So I hope that helps you get started entering transactions.